All right, go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Taylor Riddell, and I'm here today to speak on the affirmative of corporal punishment. I would like to thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Corporal punishment is an effective means of discipline, as it has been proven in the past and continues to be proven in the present, as it will in the future. Corporal punishment is defined as any physical punishment, such as spanking, that's inflicted on a child by an adult in authority. This subject has become controversial over the years because people have become too sensitive about what is considered to be an ethical form of punishment. However, logic tells us that pain is the best form of learning, and research is provided by the American Psychological Association to back up this claim. They claim that the stimulus of touch sinks into a child's brain better than auditory, such as being lectured to or put in timeout. Corporal punishment is not only a valid form of punishment, but it is also an effective means of discipline that children will remember. How children are disciplined today plays a huge role in the type of adults they become tomorrow. Do we want our future to be led by adults who don't know right from wrong because they weren't taught the proper morals as children? This is a chain reaction. If my grandparents didn't punish my parents properly, then my parents won't feel the need to punish me, and I won't punish my children. Therefore, it'll become a downfall of society, and children will continue to not have any morals. According to Reader's Digest, there was a 67% increase in crime from 1981, when corporal punishment was legal, to 1997, when it was illegal. The right stance is plain and simple. Pain is the best form of punishment, and one that children don't forget, now or in the future. Thank you. I now stand for questioning.
So your core value is to punish children by physically hurting them so that they don't misbehave?
Yes, because it sinks in.
Is it fair to say that other methods could work that are less harmful to the child's self-esteem?
I think they could work, but I don't think that they're as effective. They might be temporarily effective, but not permanently, so the child will actually remember.
You said that the child learns from touching pain other than auditory. This is not for all children. Many children can be affected negatively by touching them. Not all children learn the same way. And well, I'd like to say hi, I'm Morgan Zirkle, and I will be speaking for the negative, and it's my pleasure to debate on corporal punishment on children. As she said, corporal punishment is the physical harm by touching or hitting with a hand or object to inflict pain, and the reason for this is to punish, and the definition of punish is to suffer. And is it okay for parents to want their children to suffer? That just seems a little wrong to me. But some harmful effects of corporal punishment are ruptured eardrums, brain damage, and even death, which are some of the tragic effects that can't be justified by discipline. I would like to prove that corporal punishment is more harmful than helpful. My opponent claims that it makes them stronger and corrects misbehavior, but it's physically harmful to many children, damages parents and society. On children, it lowers their self-esteem, it teaches them to be victims, and hitting children interferes with their learning process. Not all children learn the same, and it discourages communication between parents and the use of reasoning, such as talking things out and learning why they did something wrong instead of just hitting them to correct their misbehavior. A lot of children will feel lonely and angry when you hit them, and it damages the relationship between the parent and the child. The American Psychological Association also claimed that that corporal punishment trains children that violence equals more violence and that violence is okay. That creates a double standard, saying that it's okay for adults to hit children, but it's not okay for adults to hit other adults or children to hit other adults. And this can cause accidental injuries. Parents will feel anxiety and guilt when they hit their children, and they regret instances that they might have hurt them too much, and it increases the likelihood of abuse. And violence is never okay over communication. Communication is always the answer. And not only does it hurt the relationship between the child and the parent, it hurts the relationship between parents themselves, like the mother and the father. The father may hurt the child more than what the mother thinks is acceptable, and that will cause them to argue and hurt the relationship. And when a parent hits a child, it violates their human rights and dignity. And as upheld by the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, children are humans too. And in society, it makes violence seem okay. It creates broken family patterns, and children lose faith in society as a protective force. In conclusion, it teaches that violence is okay, which it's not, hurts the families, and causes dangerous situations. It's never okay for a child to be hurt too much. Thank you. I now stand for questioning.
Do you think it's okay for America to continue to facilitate the sensitivity of people?
Sure.
Okay, well, our country has been made strong by people who had a backbone, not those who advocated weakness and sympathy. Is taking it easier on children while they're young worth the chance of them developing into adults with no established morals?
Just because you don't hit children doesn't make them too sensitive. You don't know what the children's family's like, and they could have other issues than just being hit by their parents.
Which do you think a child will remember the most? A lecture, a timeout, or being given a spanking?
Being given a spanking may affect them, and they'll remember being spanking, but will they remember why they were spanking? If you communicate with the child, then they will understand why what they did was wrong and how it can be fixed.
The human body is programmed to base its thought process off stimuli. For example, in psychology, my teacher told us that when we're young, our parents say, don't touch the stove because it's hot and it'll burn your hand. And you hear that and you're like, okay, I'm not supposed to touch the stove, but one day you do touch the stove and you get burnt, and then you really remember, don't touch the stove again because it gave you pain and you know not to do it again. So I think there should be a healthy combination of both lecturing and spanking, but I don't think parents should just spank us and not tell us what we did wrong. However, I don't think spanking should be outlawed. When my dad was in school, corporal punishment was still legal, and when kids got in trouble, first they would get a warning, and then they would get sent to the principal's office, and the principal would spank them. One time, my dad was given a warning, and part of the requirement of having a warning was that you had to go